Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about that incident lifecycle validation using the ATF. In our previous session, we have discussed about that what is the ATF and how we can do a form validation through that ATF. In this video, we are going to discuss about the incident lifecycle validation. So what does mean by lifecycle validation? It means that from incident creation to the incident resolve, all these possible scenario we are going to go through, like we'll create an incident through a user, then we'll um, make that incident to assign to particular assignment group. Then the particular assignment group member will be pick this incident, work on that incident, resolve the incident. In case they need the pending, they will put the pending state, and finally this incident is going to be resolved. That all this state we are going to validate in our this ATF test case. So let's start one by one. So for that, what we are going to do that, we are going to first show you that incident form. Okay, so I'm going to show that first incident form. So let's say that this is the incident form. In this incident form, whenever you are opening the incident form first time, you had to select the caller, short description, as we have discussed earlier. So let's say that I'm going to select a caller called able tutor. We'll select that. Then short description, I'm going to put that. So before we do actual ATF testing or create a ATF test case, you should know what is the manual behavior. So let's say that I'm selecting that short description equal to demo. And then after that, we'll select that category equal to, for example, network. Okay. And let's save that. Once we save that, you will be able to see that a incident will be created. As you can see, incident is getting created, and then it is assigned to a particular group called network group. As the category is network, the assignment group is going to be network. So what we are going to do that in the validation section, first we are going to impersonate an end user, submit this incident through the ATF, and then we'll check that the user, this incident actually assigned to network group or not. Once it is going to be network group, what will be happen? A network group member, whoever is the part of this group member, they will be pick this incident, right? So this is right now in the new state. The network group member will be pick this incident and then mark as a work in progress. For example, in this case, this user is a network group member. So I'll impersonate this user first. I just impersonate this user, and then if I go back to this incident, as you can see that this incident is assigned to this person. I'll just pick this incident to this username. So this is the user. I'll just pick that incident and then assign this incident. Okay. So this incident right now assigned to the particular user. And as you can see that once it is assigned to particular user, the state changed to in progress. So we'll check that once that incident is assigned to this user, state is in progress or not. Once this state is in progress, we can validate different state. What is the state? We can check this in if we go to this incident on hold state, this on hold reason is mandatory or not. Okay, as you can see, it is on hold reason is mandatory. And once you select that on hold reason mandatory, customer notes is mandatory or not. Once you put that, incident can be on hold. Now after that, what we'll do, let's say that you get some information and then go to this incident resolve state. Then in this resolve state, resolution code, resolution notes are mandatory or not. So these all validation we are going to test one by one through this our case. And then what will be happen also, what we'll test that instead of this manual state change, if the user click this resolve button, actually this incident is getting resolved or not. So let's say that if the user click this resolve button, as you can see, these are the field mandatory or not. And then once these fields are mandatory, it is going to be resolved or not this incident. So these are the things we are going to validate through this our ATF. Okay. So let's do that. Let's design our ATF. I'll just do an impersonations here. Go here and then type automated test framework. And here we'll go to the test again. So we are going to create multiple tests. Okay, previously I have created one test called incident validation, and this time we are going to create that incident lifecycle validation, something like that. So you can create multiple tests here. So this is the incident form validation we have created. Now this time I'm going to create another called incident lifecycle, something like that. So we'll say that incident lifecycle. Okay. So before we go to this incident lifecycle, I'll open that incident form validation again. I'll show you that how you can save your time. Okay, so as you can see that you have defined certain steps, right? So you have defined create user, you have defined open form. You already defined some of the steps, right? You don't need to do again. You can click this copy test. What will be happen? This test case will be copied to a new name. So I'll just click this copy test, and as you can see that a copy test will be created with all these steps. So I'll put my name here, uh, incident life cycle, and then I'll save that. So a new test will be created, and you can see it is copied from the incident form validation. In this case, I still need a user called this user. I still need a open to form. These two I don't need, so I can delete that. Okay, so I don't need these two, so I'll delete that. Okay, so in these steps, what I incident lifecycle, what are the things already done? One is the create a user, already done. Another is the open incident form, already done. Okay, so I'll open this create a user here, and then here in this end user, instead of end user, I'll say that requester. So what are the things we are going to do that? First, we have created a user called ATF request user, requester user. Then we are opening the form. Okay. So I will try to replicate the same thing. So what I'll do, I'll just try to replicate here. So first we had to, this is a new form right now. We have to put the caller, short description, and then we have to click this submit button to um, submit this incident, right? So let's do that. So I'll go and then add step here. And then in this case, we are going to set field value. So we are going to set the field value. We'll click the next button here. What are the fields we are going to set here? We are going to set the caller. We are going to set the configuration item. Also, we are going to set that subcategory as a network, right? So let's do that. So the short description, let's say that ATF, then caller. Who should be the caller? The caller should be the person who are actually impersonator or requester. So you can click this pillar icon. Either you can hard code here, or else in the step one we created a user. So you can go and then click this user here, and then you can select that. So caller will be this user. Now we are going to set a category equal to network. So we'll go and then set call category is network. Okay, so these are the value we are going to set in this form. Okay, after that, what we are going to do that, after setting this value, we are going to click this submit button. So what will be happen? Once you click this submit button, the record will be saved, right? So let's do that. So we'll click this add steps, and then this time what we are going to do that, click UI action. There is an option called click UI action. We are going to click this UI action and then click next. What will be happen? A record is going to be saved that. Okay, so let's do that. Now in this UI action, we need to select the UI action name called submit, right? So let's search for the submit. And as you can see that there are two submit button. We don't know which one is that actually, right? For that, what you can do, so if you have SN util extension, there is a directly one question mark is available here. You can see that after this submit button, if you click there, it will actually land to this submit button. This is the submit button. We can simply copy this submit button sysID and go here and select that sysID, so that it did not create any confusion. Here we have two sysID. We don't know which one is going to be used. We can just go and then put the sysID equal to this submit button. Okay, and then run them. Okay, so what will be happen after that? There is a one thing called assert type. So here it will be actually, you have to select that form submitted to the server. What will be happen? It will actually submit the incident record into the server side, and then you can click this submit button. Once you have done that, what will be happen? A record will be created by this ATF test user. Once the record is created, you are supposed to validate that this is assigned to a network group or not. The form or the incident record is assigned to a network group or not. Now for that, you need to open this incident form again because you submitted that. You might be go back to this list. So you need to open this incident form again, and then you need to validate that assignment group is actually network or not. So we just need to be open the existing record of this incident, and then we need to validate that assignment group. So let's do that. We'll go and then click add step again. And this time we are going to select that open existing record. We'll go and then select the open existing record. And then in this open existing record, we are going to select the previous record. So here you can see this is a pillar icon. So we'll click this pillar icon, and then we are going to here, and then we'll click this record. Okay. So that will be what it will be open. It will open the existing record. We'll submit that. So this record, these steps will open this existing incident record that has been submitted. And then we'll validate that incident assignment group is network or not. Okay. So we'll go here, click add steps. And then here we'll say that field values validation here. We'll select this one, and then we'll check that the incident assignment group is actually network or not, right? So we'll go here, and then we'll put here called incident. So this is the validation we are going to done that. Once your assignment group validation is done, what is the next step? The next step is that you are supposed to impersonate a network group member, and then what you are supposed to do that once this is you impersonate a network group member, you are supposed to assign this incident to yourself, right? And then once you assign yourself, or once you do that, this incident state should be automatically from new to work in progress, right? So we can validate again here in this case called here. What is the state of this incident? The state will be after submitting that, the state will be remained new state. Once it is assigned to a particular user, then the state will be in progress state, right? So this is we already checked there. So we had to validate in these steps also. We can put this validation here also. So here we are checking that assignment group validation. We'll check that state also. So the state should be in the new state. Okay. So as I said that whoever is the assignment like network group member, they should be impersonate that. Now there are 4-5 members there. What will be happening in future if those 4-5 users are inactive? Your ATF will be filled. In that case, we can create a user, and then we can add the user to the assigned group member table. Okay. So we'll do that for that case scenario. Okay. So let's do that. In this ATF, so far we have done the 6 steps, but in this case, I also want to create a user on step number before this step number 1. Okay, so I'll go here, add steps. Now this time I am going to put that add beginning. On that beginning, I want to add one more step. What step? I want to create a user. So we'll go and then create a user. What is the name? So let's say that ATF. Now this user, the step number 1, I don't want to impersonate. I will impersonate in the later phase, right? So I'll just uncheck this impersonate, and then in the group, I'll select call network. Okay. So the user I want to create on the step number 1 is called ATF network member. And then this user will be active. The user ID will be 789. And this will be member of this network group, but I don't want to impersonate that. So I added these steps on the step number 1. So right now, as you can see that previously it was 7 steps, but it is 6 steps. Now it is 7 steps. In the step 1, I'm going to create a user called ATF network member. And then step number 2, I'm going to create called requester. And then after step number 7, I want to impersonate that this user, the step number 1 user, and then open this incident form. Okay, so we already created an incident. We created an incident here as a network category equal to network. Once we submitted that, the incident is automatically assigned to these network groups. And then we are going to impersonate a network group member. And then after impersonating that user, we are going to validate that the state changed to the in progress or not. So after step number 7, I'm going to impersonate that user. So we have a one called impersonate. You can search call impersonate. After step number 7, I'm going to impersonate that user. So I need to select the user. What will be the user? User will become from the step number 1. So we'll select the step number 1. Okay, it is impersonate. Now what I want to do that, after that, we need to open this existing form, or we need to open this incident form, right? So we'll click here at test step, open existing form. So we'll go here, open existing form after impersonation. Now here we need to select the record. So we'll go again here in this picker, and then we'll click this UI action and then record. Okay, so this will open the existing record. Once the existing record is opened, what we want to check that? We want to set the assign to and then click this update button. So we'll go here, we'll add a steps here called set value. This time we'll select the set field value and then we'll click the next. What we want to set? We want to set the assign to, and who should be the assigned to? The step number 1 user should be assigned to. Okay, so let's say that we will select that assign to. Okay, who should be assigned? Assigned should be that step number 1. Okay, and once it is assigned, what we want to do that? Once it is assigned, we want to click this update button. Okay, so we'll click this update button. For that, we'll add one more steps here. Add test steps, and then we are going to click this click UI action, click next, and then we need this update button sysID. So we'll click this this question mark here. This is the sysID of the update button. We'll copy that and go here and open this class icon and then put this sysID equal to update. So we'll check that sysID starts with this one, run that and update that. And this time again, this assertion should be that form submitted to the server, and save that. All right. So once you actually assign to a particular user for, let's say that this user you selected, the state will be changed to automatically to the in progress. That is the expected behavior. As you can see, the state is in progress. So we'll validate that state. Okay. So here we'll validate this step. So we'll go here again and then field value validation here. No, before that, we need to open this existing record again, because if you click this update button, you might go to this another list, right? So we are going to open this existing record again, and then we'll do a validation. So we'll go click this open existing record and then record. Now record, we need to select the incident record. Now this time you can see that either you can go for the step number 5 or step number 11 to open this existing record, because in these two steps we actually update that record, or these steps we created the record, this step we updated record. So we'll go here and then we'll open this, use the step number 11 as a latest record. So now once your existing record is open, you are going to validate that the state is changes to the in progress or not. So let's do that. So we'll go and then click add step, and then we'll select that field value validation. And then here, what we are going to check that the state should be the in progress state. So that's what we are expecting. So we'll select the state is in progress. Okay, so that's it. Now, if I change the state to on hold, what will be happen? The on hold reason should be mandatory. That we are going to validate that. And after that, we are going to work on the resolve part. Okay, so let's do that. We'll go to here under the steps. Here we are validating the form. Now it is already open the existing record. The open an existing record will be always used whenever you are saving record or updating record. Okay, so let's go back, add a steps here. We are going to validate that. What we are going to validate that if we change this state to the on hold reason is mandatory or not, that we are going to do that. So let's say that we are going to set field value here called state equal to on hold, and then we'll validate that on hold reason is mandatory or not. Okay, so let's try that. That's it. Submit. And after the step number 14, what we are going to do that, validate that. Field state validation. Okay, using that we can check the mandatory. So what we are going to check that? We are going to check that this on hold reason is mandatory or not. Okay, so let's try to do that. So we'll check that on hold reason is mandatory here or not. So if it is on hold is mandatory, what we are going to do that? We are going to click this resolve button. And so once we click this resolve button, we will check this resolution code and resolution notes are mandatory or not. Okay, so let's go back here. And after this step number 15, we are going to click this resolve button. So we'll go here, click this UI action, click next. And which UI action we are going to click that? We are going to click this resolve button. So we need the resolve sysID. So we'll copy this sysID, right click, copy this sysID, copy sysID, go back here and then so we'll select this resolve button. This time we are not going to select the ascertain type because if you see that once we click this resolve button, these two fields are become mandatory. Once we put this field value, then this is going to be saved that. So these things we have to keep in mind. So we are not selecting any ascertain at that moment. It will be as it is and I'll click the submit button. Once we click this submit button, as I said that these two fields should be mandatory called resolution code, resolution notes, and then we need to, and the work notes will be also mandatory. So we are going to do that. We are going to validate that. So we'll click here, add more step, and then we are going to do that field validation. So we'll go and then field state validation, click next. We are going to validate that resolution code and resolution notes both are mandatory or not. We are going to select that resolution code and resolution notes are mandatory or not. So we go here and then select under this mandatory resolution code and resolution notes both are mandatory or not. Once both are the mandatory, we'll go here and then put here, let's say, did that and click this resolve button, right? This is going to be resolved. The incident is going to be resolved, right? So we'll go back and check there. So we will go and then select this resolution code and resolution note. So we'll select the set field validation here, resolution code and resolution note, and then we'll click this resolve button. Resolution code, we'll select that called known issue. So instead of known error, let's put the duplicate because known error might have some validation. So we'll put that duplicate for the time being, and then we'll save that. So after this setting this resolution code and resolution note, we need to click this resolve button again to resolve that, right? So let's do that. We'll go here, add step. So here in this UI action, we need to select the resolve button. So we'll already copy this sysID of the resolve. So we'll go here, put the sysID here, and then click this run. So this resolve button will be click here, and this time we are going to click this service called submit, and then click this submit button. Once this incident got resolved, so we'll click this resolve button, put this information, and click resolve. Once this incident is resolved, we can open this incident form and check the state equal to resolve or not, right? So now once you click this resolve button, it might be go to this different list. So you have to again open this existing record. So we'll go here and click add step. Now record we'll select the step number 19 record, submit, and then we can validate that the state equal to resolve or not. So we'll go and then check the field validation that it is actually resolved or not. So we'll go here and then we can check that field value validation, and then we can check that state is resolved or not. That's it. So pretty much our ATF is ready. As you can see, we already checking this resolve or not. So let's run this ATF and see this is working as expected or not.